Who here is polluted? Whose body is polluted? Let me see the hands. Oh, well, a few of you know about this, because I copied this off the wall of the building. This building contains chemicals, including tobacco smoke, known to the state of California to cause cancer. Is that a necessity to clean the body? Is that not evident? Do you think how hard it is to get building owners to put up notices saying their building is carcinogenic? Consequently, everyone here should be using the cleanse. That's the first thing. First, cleanse the body. Because you can't put stuff in on top of it if it's not clean. Second, you have to use the right protein because you have to maintain your muscle. Now, why maintain the muscle? You saw the bodies that were on the stage just before. I want everyone here to make a commitment to themselves. Say, I am going to transform my body. I'm going to make my body like that. And then you can. You can do it. I know. I know. Because when I was 65, I had a very bad accident on my horse. I was lying in a hospital bed. I could not even turn over. I was smashed pretty bad. My hip, my shoulder, and I thought I would not recover. I made my will. I made out my will. And I thought I was going to die. And I recovered. And I went back to work. And I went back to the gym. And I did it all again. And I thought, this is impossible. You're nearly 70 years old. And now I'm 72. And I'm in great shape. You can do it. Everybody can make a commitment here to bring their body to shape. And it's very important, not just so that you can stand up on stage and look muscly. Do you know that your muscles provide half the pumping power for your blood? Half the pumping power to get the oxygen and nutrients to your brain. And if you don't get the oxygen and the nutrients to the brain, it will degenerate. You will get stupid. Mind you, you won't be too worried, really, about being stupid because your muscles provide the glutamine to your immune system, without which it cannot make a single cell. So you'll not only be stupid, you'll be dead. So it's very important that you get the right protein. And in 1991, I wrote about this protein, this very protein from the same company. Before there was ever an Isagenix, I wrote a book called The Right Protein for Muscle and Strength in 1991. And then when I came to Isagenix, in May, I decided to study whether or not the system, the cleanse system and the protein worked. Because there are many, many systems out there. There are hundreds of systems. There are hundreds of people who've copied my system. And we were doing the best we could. I work now with athletes. I work with a lot of athletes. I was working with some triathletes, a group. I managed to persuade them by dint of thrashing them over the head to do the 30-day because they didn't want to lose muscle. They didn't want to reduce their food. They absolutely did not want to reduce their training. And if their training was going to be reduced, they were not going to do it. Well, here are the examples up on the screen. We, in 30 days, and I joined this group myself because I wanted my own proof. I always like copying that notice off the building wall. I like to have proof, real solid stuff. So I did it on myself as well. And I started out at 8.9% body fat. And in 30 days, I went down to 5.3% body fat. I hadn't seen my abs so well for 25 years. And all of the triathletes lost body fat. Look, we lost an average of 4.9 pounds of body fat. Lost 3% of body fat. Do you think that their performance went down? No, their performance went up. It's like taking a couple of bricks off your back. Now, the third thing you have to do, the third thing after cleansing and protein is adaptation. Adaptation. I copied another notice today. I had lunch in a restaurant. Restaurant said chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, other reproductive harm may be present in the food and beverages sold or served here. That's off the wall of the restaurant. So we know that you've got to have a buffer system. Our system was not evolved to stand that sort of pollution. We've got to have a buffer system. And the buffer system that's provided with isogenics is the Ionic Supreme. Now, before having that, I used to buy Chinese herbs at a Chinese medicine shop for my family so that we could have a buffer system. Several $100s a month. And I used to get my athletes to get them too. So I tried Ionic Supreme. And I looked at the formula and I thought, this guy is a lot smarter than I thought. Now, I've known John Anderson for a long time as a formulator, not as a friend, but it's a very smart formula. I don't buy any Chinese medicines anymore. My family and I and my athletes are all on Ionic Supreme. And the fourth thing about this system, and it is a system, remember you can't do it with one thing. The fourth thing about this system is the essential nutrients, the ageless essentials, the ageless essentials. The USDA figures that came out last year, 2010, they measure the amount of nutrients in the human body, which I like, because you can measure things in food, but you don't know whether people have had the food. So they go around the country and they measure the nutrients in people. 90% did not get the recommended dietary allowance of vitamin E. 90%. 73% of the people tested did not get the dietary allowance of zinc. 65% did not get the recommended dietary allowance of calcium. So, and we can go on through the figures because the food has been depleted. And I said in my last talk that we now have very synthetically fertilized food. And the synthetic fertilizer is made from fossil fuels. We're all eating coal. So you have to replace these with supplements, as I've studied and written about for more than 40 years. And I've been consultant to governments on this. For optimum health and longevity, you need to take the ageless essentials every single day. Who has taken their ageless essentials today? Yes. I'm serious. If you don't, you know why? While you're sitting here in these seats, you are going to lose more than 30 million blood cells. More than 30 million blood cells are going to die this afternoon while you're sitting here. Where do the new cells come from? They come from what you put in your body. And that happens every single day. If you don't put the stuff into your body every single day, then what are the new cells made of? They're made of inferior materials. It's like eating cardboard. You can't do it. That's why I joined Isogenics. It's the only company that I know that has the whole package, that understands that you've got to have a whole system.